What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to Talk That Talk. Hustle and Love with Mr. and Mrs. Simmons. TARYN Simmons, she's a beautiful wife, a mother, a daughter, just an all-around a strong family woman. She graduated from Martin County High School here in Stuart, Florida, and then graduated from FSU. She then married her high school sweetheart, Justin Simmons, who also graduated from Martin County High School, went on to Boston College with his football scholarship, and then on to the pro level. So he is now year 4 in the NFL, named second team All-Pro in 2019, and is right now today the best free agent safety on the market right now. So we're gonna talk that talk, okay? But first, I challenge them to a 3-point contest. So we'll see how it goes. You already know how I get. You already know how it goes.
You so crazy.
Probably see me out and pull it with the wifey, she a thick bitch. How you living? I've been checking everything off the wish list. Never telling what I'm on, you might end up on the heat list.
Okay, so you know what time it is. TARYN Simmons in the cut. Okay, say hello. Hi. And then we have Justin Simmons, of course. So we're gonna play 3-point contest. So best out of 10. Okay, so we're gonna start in the corner. It's gonna be 5 shots around and then 5 shots back. And then after, like, I win, and then, you know, if you guys want to play again, we can play again. Best out of 10. He's good. He's good. All right, let's get it.
I'm feeling 6 or 7. That's what I'm feeling.
6 or 7. Tiebreaker round.
Strategic.
I don't know.
Strategic.
He likes the pressure.
Strategic. Oh my God.
Can you handle yourself?
Oh my God.
Right? Good call. Okay.
Strategic.
We got 2. 2 in the bag. Nope. Finish strong. 3 more.
3.
We're going for 5. Oh, he's going for 5. Wet. Good job.
5.
5 out of 10.
It's not what I wanted, but 5 might win it. 5.
TARYN's up next. Number to beat is 5. Let's see. Let's see what she got. Let's see what she's working with. Bang. You're good for the corner. Oh, God. TARYN might knock them both out. Whack. She played in college, people.
No, I can't get 5.
Yep. You didn't cheer.
Oh, I'll read that.
Say go mama.
No pressure.
This is for the YouTube channel, Jeff. Don't mess it up.
Mess it up. See what I'm talking about? See, ooh, good pass. Gotta hit these 4 right here. Dang.
The pressure. Sanders is 5.
5. So what's going on, Justin, Taryn? How you guys been?
Good. Same old, same old.
Yeah.
Great.
You guys are home right now. It's off season for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Off season.
Yeah, we get to spend it. We're snowbirds.
Yeah. So
We're in
like,
Colorado during the warm months, and then we come here when it gets cold.
right. Are you guys like bored right now, or you're good? You're good at home. It's nice to do nothing.
100% nice to do nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Soaking it in.
Super bored, but a good bored.
I'm
We're on
sure.
the go so much. It's nice to just be bored at home.
I'm sure. So like, how is it right now as far as like for you? Mainly, I wanted to talk to. Like, how is it after you guys? When did you guys get married?
2016. So almost 4 years.
Yeah.
You better know. You looked at me.
That was a test. That was a test.
I was testing you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like, did anything change like after that? Like, putting that title.
Yeah, I mean, we got married April 1st, 2016, and then you were drafted the end of April 2016. So that whole year was like a whirlwind. Yeah, so there was a lot of change. We went from like being in college to now we're married, living on our own in a different state, far away from family in the NFL. So it was a lot of adjustment, but at the same time, like we didn't really know different because we were right out of college. So maybe it would have been a lot of adjustment if we were here in Stewart living on our own. I don't know. So I don't really have a lot to compare it to, but now looking back, like I can't imagine it being different. It was a wild ride, but it's been fun. Yeah.
Like, do you think like you are like that NFL wife title, or is it like, hey, like this is me and my boo, like this, it's been like this?
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel. I would say, I don't know, there's like, what are the shows called?
Like the Housewives of.
Yeah, you know, the shows that you see on TV about being an athlete's wife. And it's funny because me and some of the other girls that I know from the Broncos will talk about that, and like it's just not like that. I'm sure that there are people that are that way, but for the large majority of couples that we know, they're just normal people that just so happen to be in the NFL. I could probably say the same about most of his teammates. Like they're just normal. Yeah.
Regular people.
Totally. Yeah. So not much I wouldn't say the NFL has necessarily changed very much other than where we live and that he plays on Sunday in games. But otherwise, yeah, we live a pretty normal life.
Yeah. Cool. So you guys have been together since high school.
Mm-hmm.
You went to 2 separate colleges and 2 separate states,
Yep.
correct? Did you guys like keep in touch? Or were you together,
Mm-hmm.
right, throughout college?
As much as you can be in a long distance relationship.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that's
We probably had on and off times. I don't really.
like I'm sure, like 2 different colleges you're playing. And you played.
My first 2 years, yeah, I played basketball, and then I hung it up and went to Florida State, which he hated because he went to BC, and they're like kind of rivals. So
Oh, man.
I wouldn't necessarily say rivals. You have to win, right?
Right.
If you're
that's why he hated it because they never beat FSU, so he was mad.
Yeah, he's
such a
competitive.
trash school.
Right.
Whatever.
Here it comes out. The claws are coming.
It's such a trash school. It's talent nasty for a reason.
Oh, man. So, like, how was your, like your mentality once you got to college as far as, like, football-wise? Like, being the man in high school and then, like, going to college where everybody else was the man in high school. Like, the talent level, I'm sure, jumped up. How was that for you?
It was a tough transition. Humbling, I think the biggest word for it. It was, but it was good. I mean, I think for me going from here and having all the roots and having all the support that I had, and then going up to Massachusetts and having people in my corner like TARYN, my family, a lot of close friends. They're the ones that really, whether I told them that or expressed it to them or not, really the ones that helped me kind of persevere and push through a lot of those tough times that I had in college. And I'm thankful for all of them because they helped shape me into the man that I am today, and helped me with the mindset and in terms of how we both approach life. And so it was great though. I loved every second of it. Even the down times, I may not have loved it in the moment, but now looking back, really thankful for those times. So it was good.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it, like, molded you to, like, get prepared for the next level. Like, when were you like, hey, hey, babe,
I can really like, make it. Like I can go pro.
Yeah.
College or?
Yeah, it was college. It wasn't until, back
Maybe
then, it was probably
senior
until
year.
senior year. Yeah.
Really?
It was like
Senior
plan
year.
B even senior year. Like maybe I'll try.
Yeah. There's a whole story behind it. But obviously we're super into our faith and
For sure.
having a relationship with the Lord. And so we are, myself, like I felt like football was an idol, like, more important in my life than almost everything else, especially my faith. And so when I kind of came to that realization, at like the beginning of my junior year, I basically was like, you know what, God, like I'm gonna just put football off to the side and I'm gonna finish school. I'm gonna finish, what I started and play football. But even if we have an opportunity to go pro, like I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
And then, one thing led to another. We got more and more attention as both junior and senior year went on. But it was just this thing I kept telling the Lord, like, nope, we're not going to do it.
And like another door would open.
No, yeah, another door would open. I'd be like, no, we're not going to do it. Another door would open. And then
He's like, okay, I got invited to the combine. I'll go, I guess.
Wow.
it's just a string of events that happened
Right.
that, he kind of made it apparent that it was
already written.
Yeah.
his plan.
And
for
it went
us,
from
so.
like undrafted, maybe 7th round, to then he ended up being in 3rd round. So it was like just very clear that was God's plan for us. But yeah, it was definitely not like I'm going to the NFL. There's no other choice. It was like, okay, let's start to plan our lives. I'll train for the combine. I'll do it and just like see what happens. But here we are.
Wow, that's amazing. So you got the phone call. Like, how was that? You got the phone
Wild.
call. You're going to the NFL.
With the 98th pick in the 2016 draft, the Denver Broncos select Justin Simmons, defensive back, Boston College.
Hey, Mayock got one.
Tie game.
BC to wrap it up.
And I am still upset that I didn't get sent back to Boston College to do some special thing on him like Deion Sanders and everybody else at the network, except me and Charles got to go back to our colleges. Justin Simmons is a good football player. Put the Notre Dame tape on. By the way, the short shuttle and the 3-cone. 3.63, 6.55. Ridiculous numbers for a 200-pound safety.
So that's Justin Simmons, Mike Mayock.
Hey, that's lit. Let's go. Denver. Yes. Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Denver.
You like took that in, and then when did you have your daughter? A year or two
Was
into
that
it?
probably after his 2nd season. So
After
yeah.
your 2nd season.
Yeah.
How was that like for you? As like
Big transition.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it definitely was the best thing that ever happened to us for sure. But there was a lot of transition and change, and yeah, there's no amount of preparation to prepare you to have a child. So
I can't even imagine. And like with him being away, like on road games, were you like on your own, or did you have family support that would come up and be with you?
So we don't have any family in Denver now. Just as of this summer, his brother and now wife live in Denver. But
nice.
before that, yeah, we didn't have any family. So that part was really hard. I feel like we missed our family kind of, and then we had a baby and we're like, can everyone please move here?
Right.
Help us.
Yeah.
But I would say football is the best out of any professional sport as far as road games. There's baseball and basketball. They go on like 2-week road trips. Football, like he leaves on Saturday morning to go to like meetings and walk through, and then they get on the plane, go to the city that they're playing in, play on Sunday, fly back. So he leaves on Sunday morning, and within like 36 hours he's home. Wow. So it's really not that bad. And then his off season is like a full 3 months. So that part, I wouldn't say like made it any harder. I would say not having family there makes it harder than
Yeah, I'm sure.
the
Especially
sport.
with your new, a daughter, you always want like your mom, I'm sure,
Yeah.
is like dying to be there.
Yeah, so that part's hard, and bringing a toddler to a football game.
I'm sure. Do you like muff her up, like earmuffs? Like, where do you sit?
So we sit in the stands like everybody else, and yeah, there's like.
I'm sure it's so loud.
It's loud, yeah. But we've been really lucky. I've had some nice girls that have a suite, and a lot of weeks I've ended up sitting in someone else's suite, which for like weather elements is usually necessary. It gets cold. I'm not trying to sit in the snow for 4 hours, but.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
But yeah,
I would
it's
not
fun.
be about that.
All around, it's like there's a lot of good memories, and he'll always say like he is glad he can look back. One day he'll look back at his career and be like, Lainey got to come to my games. Like I have those memories of her being there, so it's worth it. But
so you guys are two still very young, still growing in your lives. As far as that was a compliment.
Yeah.
I thought you hurt yourself. I was like,
No,
the mic.
Yeah. It warms my heart.
Right. You guys are still, growing like spiritually, in careers. How would you say that your daughter impacted your relationship?
You want me to go?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could say good and bad things. I think most parents would tell you that. Like, it definitely adds a new element of, like, we're going to disagree about new things, whether it's discipline or, like, parenting choices in general. I mean, you don't even know the amount of things you have to decide until you have a kid and realize you're kind of a product of your environment. And so the home that you were raised in, like, depending on what your parents did, that's comfortable for you. And so now you take two different people who are raised in two different homes and try to parent a baby. So there are elements that we disagree on that would make it challenging. And in the beginning, whenever they're really little and they don't sleep, you argue a lot because you don't sleep. But the good, like, far outweighs the bad. I would say you find like a whole new part of your spouse that you never knew about. Like, I didn't know Justin as a dad before. And so he has a whole new layer to him that I love. And it's so fun to like watch him and my daughter bond and like get to do new things. Like, this is a whole new thing for us, and it's really fun. Yeah, I would say the good far outweighs the bad. It's really fun.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna give y'all the real stuff. That was
an amazing answer.
Yeah, thank you for that. That was an amazing answer. I'm gonna give y'all the real stuff because it is amazing. But then for all my fellas that are gonna be watching, I don't know which camera, but
we got too many.
your wife or significant other is gonna ask you to do a baby class. Just do it. But you're still going to call your nurse or doctor every week about every little thing. You're going to suffer. In those classes. They're terrible. And they're great. I mean, they're educational. Correct me if I'm wrong.
When you're pregnant and stuff.
Yeah.
Forgot about
your
those.
wife drags you to.
He didn't forget.
He went to one.
I went to more than one.
It was one.
No, it definitely was not one. They were so long. They were so unnecessary. Like, it's good if you're a first-time parent, but like...
This is how our relationship has been impacted from having a kid.
I remember it because like now I can't even tell you the first thing about any of those classes. And then any problems that we've had, we call the doctor anyway. It's like, oh, she fell and like she's bleeding a little bit from her toe. Like, what do we do? It's like, just put a Band-Aid on it. She'll be fine. Like,
I never called the doctor for that.
I'm just giving an example. Like,
an extreme, like,
yeah, that's all I'm saying. But no, I mean, but for all the reasons that TARYN named, I mean, being a parent is amazing. Like she said, you get to see a whole other side of your spouse that you never even like imagined was there. Like, it just surfaces itself. And so that's really the coolest and, like most beautiful thing about, the relationship is it really just takes it to like a whole nother level. And then you realize on top of it how selfish you are, how much or how little patience you have. Like, all these things start coming out.
You start to not like yourself as much when you have a kid. You're like, dang, I am impatient.
And you just learn to grow. They're all growing pains. And so it's great though. We're, blessed. We love it.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So 2019, you were named second team All-Pro. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For sure. I mean, I don't know if this is my personal opinion or like the world's personal opinion, but you're like the best free agent safety on the market right now. So, like, how is that in the NFL, 4th year in? How do you stay so well-rounded and focused when you're in a world that's like so noisy?
Yeah.
You know, so much going on.
Yeah, I think just, in the same, tone or in the same note that I gave earlier on, transitioning from high school to college and being, like you said, the man in high school, going where there's a, bunch of the mans now on your college team. It's kind of the same approach. I have that just network of people that are consistently pouring into me and holding me accountable and making sure, I'm staying grounded and rooted in who I was when I was Justin in high school. Like, that guy is always going to be the same. The biggest one being, TARYN sitting right next to me. And then, like I said, my family, a core group of friends that I've always kept in touch with. And just realizing that, football is something that you do. It's not who you are. And not really resting in that. This is only going to be so temporary. You get so caught up in it. But, the minimum or the average NFL career is 3 to 4 years. Yeah. So if that were
Not
the case, we would
NFL.
be done we would be done right now. Right. And so you just really learn not to rest in it. Take it a year at a time. And we don't have all the answers. Everything's going great now. Next year could be a terrible year, but we would have the same mindset. And so you just have to just go with the flow. And,
otherwise, you have one bad play, one bad game. And if that's your whole life,
right, then that's
going
it.
to be
crumbling
devastating.
down. Yeah.
Where it's like, it's still, you're human, you're competitive. Like a bad play, a bad game, it's still going to like make you upset, but your worth isn't in that. So it's not like, okay, I'm an awful person. It's just like, I had a bad play. Right. So, but I'm sure you could attest to this, and you see it in players all the time, that it'll rock their world if they get cut but that's part of the NFL. And so you do have to every day make an effort to just not fall into that. Right. Like, this isn't who I am. I'm cool with or without it. We'll just ride this wave as long as we can. But yeah.
Right. Well, I was going to ask you, like, how do you think TARYN impacts like your everyday life? But like, how would you say he impacts your everyday life?
That's a good question. It depends. So in the off season right now, he's doesn't work at all. So he's home all day, just like we're both at home all day. So it's awesome for me because off season for him means like he can be dad. Now I get to go do other things. So that's been really nice. During the season though, it's really cool to see. It's like inspiring to watch him. He gets to chase his dreams. Right. And he's getting to see childhood dreams come to life like right before our eyes, which has been really fun. And from my perspective, like I know all the hard work that goes in. Like everyone watches the game on Sunday, but they don't really know how hard these guys work, and they work really, really hard. So that's been fun. Like I can just see his hard work come to life, and like he's getting all these cool accolades. Not that that matters for anything other than like a pat on the back, but it is still really cool.
Yeah,
like your hard work has paid off. So that's cool. It's inspiring, and it makes me want to work hard at whatever. For right now, I'm a stay-at-home mom, but we're gonna start a foundation soon.
I was gonna
have a lot of dreams and aspirations for that. So
right. I was gonna ask you, are your hands like in the foundation to kind of be involved?
Yeah.
What's the name of it, if you don't mind me asking?
It's going to be the Justin Simmons Foundation.
Yeah. It's in the process of, we're filling out paperwork and everything, so it should launch in the next probably month or two.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It'll be great. We think what an awesome opportunity. We have this platform, and we want to make sure like, we're affecting change in the ways that we think would be positive, and obviously start with our community. Every place has bad places, and we want to make sure we do our best to kind of uproot that and like, get it as far away as possible, or at least as much as we can. And so those are just like some of the goals that we have, and it's such a blessing because that's what football's provided for us, the opportunity to do those types of things. And I'm more of like the I guess like outgoing, like I want to do this, and TARYN's
He's like the dreamer.
TARYN's like the realist. She's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, let's put this on paper. Let's get this done.
Yeah. First of all,
that costs
yeah.
a lot of money. You can't just do that. And so that's why, a lot of the things, works just because, TARYN makes it work like a lot of other things, like I said.
No. So do you guys, if you could say something right now to like young athletes coming up right now, as far as not, because we can say a lot for, well, you're an athlete. I talk like I'm an athlete. I just took, anyways.
Still an athlete?
Yeah. So, like, if you had
You're
advice,
always an athlete,
right?
never
It's in the blood. If you had advice for young athletes as far as work ethic and like really staying focused and knowing what you want and knowing what you need to do to go and get that, like, what would you say?
Either one. Yeah, either one.
Yeah, I would say, and Justin would tell you this too, he was never like the best of the best athlete ever. Like, he has just worked really hard and he has stayed coachable and grounded, and that speaks, like, if you can be coachable, you can take yourself as far as you want to go. So being a good athlete helps, but there's so much more to it than, like, you be a good teammate. Make it easy for your coach to like coach you, and that'll take you a lot further than how fast you are, if that makes sense. Yeah, you can go. You have a lot more to say about this than me, so that was just my.
That was facts.
Yeah.
No, that was great. I mean, that's definitely something that I would have said. I think the biggest thing is like a lot of misconceptions is like when people think working hard is like, waking up the earliest or, working out multiple times a day. Like, everyone is doing to some degree some like regimen of those workouts. Like, some kids are waking up super early, and like that definitely helps and that matters, but it's really knowing your worth and focusing on like what's really going to set you apart, right? So for, like TARYN said, like for me it was, I did the workouts and I was engaged, but really what set me apart, I think, especially in high school, even in college, and now even transitioning to the pro, was I tell everyone, like, being coachable. Like, it sounds like it's so simple and everyone does it, but it really, there's not a lot of people that are like really coachable. And I mean, like, coaches are on you and your first response isn't, like, exactly.
Yeah.
It's really like,
yes sir, yes ma'am.
Let me listen and try and incorporate what's being said into my into my play, and let's see how that goes. And so the biggest thing I tell athletes is like, yeah, everyone wants to, but not everyone's willing to. We say, there's a bunch of athletes that say it all the time, and you just really need to focus on that. Like, it's just super important, being coachable, because everyone out there has talent. Yeah. Everyone is good at what they do, especially if you're going to go play at college, and then you're talking about the pros. Like, everyone's good. So what makes you special? What makes you stick out? What's going to make you different? And that's the biggest thing, is setting yourself apart in that area.
I agree, for sure. So the title of this episode is Hustle and Love. You guys definitely have the hustle, but more importantly, you have the love. A lot of people, I'm sure, admire you guys. It's beautiful to see. You guys are growing a family. Can we get a second, little son on the way? Or
Hopefully one day.
Hopefully one day.
Carry the name.
He like
I
already
don't know.
has
Justin really likes having. Now he's like, if I have all girls, I'm not gonna be
girl
mad
dad.
about
Yeah, seriously.
He doesn't even say that to be like, he means it. He loves having
obviously,
girls.
I want a son. Like,
that would be fun.
Yeah, if I can, like, I would, want a son. Right. But like, if we were to have, like, let's say 3 more daughters, like,
You're good.
It wouldn't even be like a regret if we stopped having kids. Like,
wait till they get into like the
until they get to, oh yeah, no. Then
I don't know if I want that many girls. That's a lot of girls.
Then after that,
the bickering happens. Would you guys have any, just to wrap it up, would you guys have any advice for like young couples, high school, college, that's really trying to like build an empire and lives together, and just really like staying focused and staying true to each other?
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot I can say. I think this is, I like that topic a lot. Like, I feel like I could talk hours on it. Not that I have the answers, because love is, especially when you're talking about like really committing to someone, like it's not an emotion, like it's a choice. Like every day it's like, you know, choosing your spouse. Because there's a lot of times, like, I mean, we can agree and we're pretty open about it. Like a lot of days, like, she's not my favorite, and a lot of days
it's like, I love you, but I don't like you right now.
Yeah, a lot of the days I'm not her favorite, and
I feel like that's normal. Right?
and it's so normal. And I feel like, you know, everyone gets this perfect picture painted on social media that everything's always great and everything's always going well, and that's not always the case. And so it's okay to have struggles and have failures, and I think that's where your community comes in. You find people you can talk to and you can confide with, and they kind of help you guys grow. And so for your family, you know, it's the same thing. Like, you know, you're never going to have that butterfly love forever. You're going to have to eventually start, you know, choosing, and every day, you know, choosing that same person over and over for the same reasons you chose them in the beginning. And so that'd be my biggest thing. And children are such a blessing. You know, I'm not going to talk politics on that, but children are such a blessing, and every woman has a unique situation, you know, with their story, and I'll never be the one to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. But just in so many conversations that we've had with girls and moms now that we're on the border thinking about it, having kids too young, and obviously we're still super young and we've had a daughter, like, you know, everything will work itself out, and they're such a blessing. Like, we've seen our lives elevate, nothing but elevate from having a daughter. So
Yeah. You've got a lot of points in there. I don't know.
He did it a lot.
yeah, I told you I could go on hours on end. That was
good though.
that was a Cliff Notes version.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So he's going to write a book.
You're gonna see him typing that out.
Yeah, no, that was good. What can I add to that? I would say, I think, at least for me, from a girl's perspective, something that's really important is to be complete on your own. Like, to try to find your other half that's not true. Like, you need to be 100 and they be 100, and you're just like complimenting each other. That, I think, I'll say, like, long distance for us was a blessing, because I think if we went to school in the same place and we had never spent any time apart, we would have been way too dependent on each other. And when you're 100% dependent on a person, like, he's gonna let me down, and then that would ruin my whole week. And like, I don't need Justin to make me happy. Like, yeah, he brings me joy, and we love each other, and it's fun, but it's not like I'm dependent every day. Like, okay, I'm waiting for him to make me happy to have a good day. But that can easily happen if you are dependent on your spouse or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it is. So I would say, yeah, be your own person. Like, be you without your other half, whoever it is. Or I just said that's taboo, but yeah, I don't need Justin to be me. Like, I'm me by myself, and then he just makes me a better me, if that makes sense. So,
and someone needs to hear that. Whoever is watching, someone needs to hear that for sure.
Yeah, and it's really easy, I think, especially as a woman, to do that. Right. Like, guys probably don't fall as victim to that, but yeah.
No, I'm gonna do me regardless.
Okay.
He had to throw that in there just to be that way. All right,
he says that now.
Wrap it up. Last question. Anything you guys do, like, on the regular? I know you're very spiritual. Anything you guys do as far as self-love, like practices, as far as, I don't know, gym routine, meditation, or is it like, yeah, I pray and I have a very strong spiritual connection?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. Yeah, I would say, you know, kind of living in that life of prayer. I know for us, I guess also kind of touching on like the relationship aspect of that, like, we try our best to like always make sure like we're still like pursuing each other in some
date nights are still a big deal.
Yeah, like we always try to make sure, and it's nice when we're home because we have babysitters, you know, our moms and our families get to do that, and so you know, we make sure we try to do that, and that's good. I don't know if you had anything else to add to that.
Yeah, I think for me, like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so that job never ends. So I don't clock out. And so like me time is important to stay me and not get wrapped up in it. So yeah, I like to go to the gym, or even if it's just like going and doing something by myself, that's like my self-love. He'll tell you that. I'm like, I just need to go to the grocery store alone. Like that would just fill my cup right now.
It's important.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like he said, we pray and stay in the word and stuff like that every day. So that's probably the way that we self-love.
Right. Nice. Very nice. Well, that's a wrap.
And I know that was your last question. I'm not even trying to take over, but we appreciate you kind of like letting us come on and share a little bit of our story. And I think the coolest thing for me, because I always do like interviews and like sit down talks, and it's always about, you know, Justin. And it's nice. You know, I liked how most of the questions are directed towards TARYN, because she is the one, like, she will never say it because she hates doing interviews. Like, she hates talking, like, in public settings. And she would never say it, but she's really the one that, like, makes me, like, work. And I don't mean me, like, obviously me as a person, but, like, me as, like, a player, like, everything. Like, everyone always only talks about Justin. And even sometimes it's like, oh, that's Justin's wife. Like, no, she has a name. She is a person. Right. She had dreams and aspirations, and she gave those up in order for me to live mine out, you know? And so, like, and she's a stay-at-home mom. She does all this amazing stuff, and it's almost like it's not noticed. And so I can speak for both of us. You know, we appreciate
for sure
you kind of.
And I felt that way too. That's why I was like, mainly I want this to be about you. You know, of course you play a part, but I feel like she's like the backbone here.
No, she is,
you know,
and I never take offense to it because it's the truth. Yeah, it really is. So
you got that hustle and love. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
for real. Thank you. Give me some love.
So we got a tie break. It's fine. I got this. You ready?
I was born ready.
Here we go.
Oh, TARYN, I won't let us down. I'm gonna get forward, TARYN.
He said, TARYN, I won't let us down.
TARYN, I'm not gonna let us down.
Uh-oh.
That's all. 3, babe, 3.
I don't know.
3, babe.
I don't know. Stop it.
3, babe.
3?
I could have had 4. I should have had 4. Ready?
Yes, you get me.
Are you ready? The number to beat is 3.
It's 3?
5 shots.
All right, let's go.
1. With the passes. Oh!
I need you to
I got you.
Oh!
Oh! This is it!
This can't be a tie.
For good measure.
Good measure. TARYN, I gave it to him, you know, his old lady's here with the kid, you know, I had to give it to him. Good game. I appreciate it. Well, that's a wrap. He's talking.
No, I wasn't.
I had to give it to him, it's fine. I'm a little upset, per usual. But that's a wrap. Thank you guys so much for coming. Hustle and Love, Justin and TARYN Simmons. If you like that, go show them some love. I'm gonna drop their Instagram handles right here. Like, comment, subscribe. More to come. Talk that talk. Drop a comment right now. Tell me what gem you took from this conversation. It's just right, baby. Let's get it.
Take 1. Action. Behind the time. Just do 1 hand.
You ready?
Wow. That's Jay Sims right there, guys.
No. You get used to it.
I only play football, people.
My hands are pretty callous. Like callous?
Yeah.
I don't know how you say that.
I always wonder if that hurt, gripping on the rim like that.